Hi, this is Sweet June. How's everybody doing today? Pretty late, getting ready to get into bed and get ready for another day tomorrow. I, as I did said in my other video, my truck video, um, yeah, as far as my update, I'm doing great. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling a lot better than what I was. My back is feeling better. I still got pain, but it's not as bad as it was. It's getting better. And I think getting a little bit of weight off is making a difference. And this is like my third week on the diet, and I'm doing good. I've been pretty much sticking to it, and I can tell the difference in my body. I am really starting to feel better. I sometimes, I have my moments, I have my days where my energy's a little low or whatever like that. But I try to keep my protein up and um, try not to lower my carbs too much because you have to have a certain amount of carbs. You can't just cut carbs completely out of your diet. So I try not to um, lower my carbs too much, and I try to eat a certain amount of protein, not too much protein, but eat a certain amount of protein. And um, I am feeling better. I mean, I'm noticing a difference in my body. Um, Then versus 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I felt terrible. I felt horrible. So it is making a difference. And I'm going to keep you guys updated. I'm going to be doing videos every week, keeping you guys updated on my progress and how it's going and my weight loss and everything. And um, I'm not going to tell you my weight until like towards the end of my journey as far as my weight. Once I get closer to my goal weight, I'll let you guys know what I weighed before versus my new weight. So I'm not going to reveal that yet because I'm in the beginning stages, and but I am noticing that clothes are getting bigger on me. And because I had before I started the diet, I had already lost like 4 pounds. So um now it's like I'm losing more, and I'm noticing a difference with my clothes, and my clothes are getting bigger on me. And one day I'm probably going to go to put on my clothes and I won't be able to fit them anymore. So I was like, well, I either better come up with some money to buy new clothes, or I need to learn how to sew, take things in. So the summer clothes that I'm wearing now, next summer, around next year, around this time, may not be able to fit them. If because I'm planning on sticking to this diet. I'm determined to get the weight off because I like the way I'm feeling. I like the fact that I am feeling better, and so I'm gonna keep up this diet. This is my lifestyle now. This is gonna be my lifestyle. I plan on eating like this for the rest of my life. Um, because I want to feel better. I want to feel better, and frankly, I really can't afford to be sick. I mean, I was just marinating on that today. I mean, I really can't afford to be sick. I mean, I got too many responsibilities. I mean, I have too many responsibilities. I have too many bills to pay. So I don't really have the luxury of being sick. I don't have the luxury of being disabled. Um, I just getting being sick and disabled is not an option. So it's like I gotta turn this thing around. I have to turn it around. I don't have much of a choice. Um, and I got to do the best, take care of myself to the best of my ability that I can because I have a lot of things. I have a lot of responsibilities, and I have a lot of things that's on me, and I really, can't afford to be sick. I can't afford to be disabled. So I'm on the track to good health. I'm determined to get the weight off. I'm determined to be healthy again. As we get older, we have to take better care of our bodies. As we age and as we get older, we have to take better care of our bodies. It's like you can't do the same things and eat the same foods um, when you did when you were younger. I mean, like you might have ate a lot of junk food, or you might have ate a lot of sweets and stuff when you were younger. But as you get older, After 40, the aging process starts to take place in your body. So whatever it was that you did when you was younger, you can't keep doing when you're, if you were smoking for 20 years or whatever, you started smoking young, after 40, that's when it's going to really start messing with your heart. Because people don't understand, when after 40, the aging process takes place in your body. So if you were using drugs and you call yourself trying to get off of them and you back on them, you kind of back and forth and you kind of yo-yoing back and forth. After 40, the aging process is taking place in your body. So the drugs are going to have a different effect on you versus when you were in your 20s and you did them. Your body, when you're in your 20s, your body, if you're a healthy person with no medical problems, your body is at its strongest. That's what all the cells and muscles and everything in your body is at its strongest in your 20s. So if you're smoking, drinking, you're not eating a good diet or whatever, um, it's not going to really manifest at that point because your body is at its strongest. Your body is at its best. But as soon as you get to that 35, 40, 45, 50-year mark, after 40, your body starts going, the aging process takes place in your body. So all the habits you had when you were younger and you keep doing those habits in your 40s, that's when it's going to manifest. And that's because my thought was, I was like, wait a minute, I never smoked. I never drank. Why am I having all these problems with my body? You know, I was like, I never smoked. I never abused drugs. I never drank. It's like, I don't understand why I'm having all these problems with my body. But I had some unhealthy eating habits. That was my issue. I had some unhealthy eating habits, and because I had the unhealthy eating habits, I had some healthy eating habits, but I had some unhealthy eating habits as well. And so, like I said, a lot of us black folks, we be raised on that soul food, and as we get older, you're used to eating all that stuff, and then as you get older, you try to still have the same diet and try to eat the same things, and your body, the aging process is taking place in your body, and you can't keep it up. You can't. You gotta. When we get a certain age, we gotta make changes. We have to make changes in our diet. We have to change our diet. We have to exercise more because the aging process is taking place in your body, and a lot of things change. I remember I took an anatomy course, and I love the class. I mean, the class was extremely hard. It was a very hard class. Um, I still have the book. The book was so interesting, I decided to keep the book. But for every chapter, each chapter talked about a different part of the body. Our bodies, I didn't realize how complex our bodies was until I took a. If you guys ever get a chance, take an anatomy course. I mean, you don't have to be going. I was trying to go for nursing, but you don't have to be trying to go into the medical field. But just or even go on the internet and do some research and Google. Go on Google and Google cells and Google muscles and it's our bodies are amazing machines. You guys have no idea what it takes for our body just to function every day. It's our bodies are like machines. Every cell in our body does has a different function. And we have probably millions of cells in our bodies. In every cell, there's different types of cells in our bodies, and they all serve a different function. And our organs have different types of cell. Each organ has their own set of cells. Our muscles have um, a set of cells. Our blood has a set of cells. Our bones. I mean, everything in our body has a set of cells, and they all have a certain function. And if you guys ever get a chance to go on Google Google cells, Google muscles, Google your heart. I mean, just about everything in your body. And you will really, really get educated as to what it takes to, what does it take for your heart, get your heart pumping? What does it take for your lungs to operate, your liver, your kidneys? I mean, our bodies are I mean, Jehovah God created us, but our bodies are like amazing machines. It really, really takes a lot for our bodies to function, and we take everything for granted. But it takes a lot for our bodies to function every day. It's amazing. It's like an amazing machine. Well, in this anatomy book, um, I got off track. I got off course. But in this anatomy book, each chapter talked about a different part of the body. And at the end of that chapter, like say they had a chapter talking about bones, and they told you the cells and the everything that about bones. They told you everything about bones and how they function and everything and what they're made of and all that stuff. And at the end of that chapter, the bone chapter where they're talking about bones, it tells you what the aging process does to that part of the body. If the chapter's talking about bones, at the end of that chapter, it'll tell you what the aging process does to your bones. Okay, and then you look at another chapter. Let's say that chapter's on your heart, and it tells you the different parts of the heart, what it takes for the heart to function, the muscles of the heart. It breaks down all that. And everything has a name. Everything in your body, everything in our bodies have a name. That's why the anatomy, if you ever took an anatomy class, it is so hard because everything in our body has a name, even the cells. Our cells have names, our muscles, different types of muscles and everything have names. They all have names. Most of the names we don't even know. But if the chapter's talking about the heart, it tells you, it educates you on everything, the muscles and cells and everything, and what it takes for the heart to function and all that, the different chambers, because our heart has different chambers. And it tells you about the different chambers of the heart and which each chamber does and how the blood pumps through your heart and everything like that. And at the end of that chapter, it tells you what the aging process does to your heart, what effect the aging process has on your heart. And if there's a chapter on eyes, let's say, it tells you everything about how what goes on with your eyes and what makes them work and all that, the cells and how they function and all this. At the end of that chapter, it tells you what the aging process does to your eyes. It's like each chapter talks about a different part of the body, and at the end of the chapter it tells you what the aging process does to that part of the body. It's very, very educational. I kept the textbook because I thought it was just so interesting. I wanted to hold on to it because I love books. I'm a book fanatic, so I just love the book. I love to read and I love to learn and research, so I'm just a book fanatic. So I decided to keep the book because when I used to go to college, they would have the book buyout at the end of the semester, and you would take your books back to see if you can get the money back for them. Well, that's one of the books I decided to keep. I said, well, I'm gonna keep this. This is gonna go in my library because I have like a bookshelf with a whole bunch of books on it, and the textbooks that I really, really, really got into, I decided to keep them. So that was a keeper. So it was just very interesting how this book is just so profound. It just tells you, and I loved it how the book has different races of people in it. The anatomy book has actually different races of people in it. I just thought that was just so cool. So, but my point is, I'm getting off track. My point is that um, as we get older, we can't do some of the same things that we did when we were younger. If we had a certain diet when we were younger, as we get older in our 40s, the aging process is taking place in our bodies. You can't keep eating the same types of foods. You got to make a change. If you were smoking when you were younger, you had a bad smoking habit. If once you get in your 40s, all that stuff is going to manifest in your 40s and 50s. If you was a heavy drinker, a drug user, You get in your 40s and 50s, all that stuff is going to manifest in your body. It's going to start having effect on your body. And things going to start breaking down on you as a result of you smoking, drinking. It's going to, because by that time, your heart is, if you've been smoking for 20 years, your heart is just, by the time the aging process takes place, where your heart is like, wow, I'm tired, you know? So at that point, you could become a ticking time bomb. So as we get older, we just can't do some of the same things. We got to make changes. And it's the hardest thing for us to do because we're so used. Like I love sweets. I love chocolate. And, and I didn't, I know I wasn't a smoker. No, I wasn't a drinker. But it was certain types of foods that I love to eat on a consistent basis. And now at this point in my life, it caught up with me. So, um, and as we get older, when you have that extra weight on your body, when you have the extra weight on your body, it affects your and that's what I really wanted to really get into talking about. As you have the extra weight on your body, it affects your joints, it affects your heart, it affects it when you have extra weight. If particularly if you're 50 pounds or overweight, it can pretty much affect everything in your body. And I tell you, with me, it was starting to affect everything. It was starting to affect my ankles. Even when I was younger, I kind of had weak ankles. So yeah, my started getting a little um, edema, as they call it, in my ankles, and um, my knees started bothering me. Last summer, my knees started bothering me. And like I said, when I was younger, I kind of had some back problems when I was younger. The back problems started getting worse. Um, just body just breaking down. And if I had to continue the path, if I had to continue to eat the wrong types of foods, continue to gain weight, things would have just gotten worse for me. And so when you have a lot of excess weight on you, it breaks down your body. It just breaks down everything in your body starts to break down. And so when you combine weight with the aging process, when you combine those two with together, excess weight and aging process, and when you combine those two together, it's not a good mix. So as we get older, we got to take better care of our bodies if we want to live. You know, I was like, I always thought that I was going to be one of those people that was kind of hard headed because I love sweets and I love chocolate so much. I never thought that I was going to be diagnosed with pre-diabetes because you always think it's not going to happen. Certain things are not going to happen to you. And so I always thought, well, oh Lord, I could never have diabetes. If I had diabetes, I don't know, I might not make it because I don't know if I can stop eating my favorite food, or I don't know if I can stop eating chocolate, or I don't know if I can stop eating this or eating that. And now I am faced with that reality. At this point in my life, I am faced with that reality. And as soon as I got, the doctor told me that, and I was faced with that reality, I got really, really sad. But then at the same time, I was like, well, I got to make this change. I got to go ahead and do this. I got to make this change. This is something that I need to do. And it wouldn't, it's about me wanting to live and be with my family and everybody a little longer. Do some of the things that I still want to do things that I have not yet been able to do up to this point in my life. And still, I would love to do some traveling. I mean, this old girl still got some living she want to do. But not just that, but my quality of life. You know, is it my quality of life is important to me. Because over the last year or so, my quality of life has not been good. Even though I was still getting up, going to work, my quality of life wasn't good. Even though I was still trying to get up and go to work, I was still trying to get up and go to the gym and all this type of stuff. My quality of life was not good because I was in pain like almost every day of my life. I was in some type of pain. And that is just no way to live. That is no quality of life. And I just marinated and really, really meditated on the fact that, hey, I want a better quality of life. Right now, I don't feel like I have a good quality of life. I'm in pain every day. Now I'm not just in pain, but I'm not feeling good, you know? And I said, I can't live my life like this. I got to make this change. I said, I got to not only do it for my family, but I got to do it for myself, you know? Yeah, I want to live longer, but I want to feel better. I said, well, the important thing is me feeling better. Because right now I feel like crap. And so I said, well, now I got to do this. I said, chocolate and all my favorite foods is not that important to me to the point to where I want to keep feeling bad and keep and putting my life at risk. It's not worth it, you know? And so I am getting better and better each week, and I'm excited to see how I'm gonna feel 3 or 4 months down the road. You know, because I'm gonna keep this thing up, so I'm excited to see how I'm gonna feel 3 or 4 months. Like I said, I'm gonna be keeping you guys updated every week, letting you know what's going on with me, and um, I'm already seeing a difference in my body. I'm already seeing a huge difference in my body. My back is not hurting as much. My mobility is better. You know, a lot of the dizziness and stuff that I was having before um, is getting better. I feel like my blood sugar levels are more stable than what they were, and my body's not going crazy like it was. So I'm gonna keep this thing up. You know, and I encourage any of you, if you guys are having some weight issues, getting on up there in age, make the change. Make the change. It's not as hard as you think it is. You know, it's not as hard as you think it is. I thought it was going to be really hard, but I come to realize it's not as hard as I think it is. I mean, I already had some healthy habits. I was already kind of exercising. I was already eating, trying to attempt to eat some healthy foods. I was already eating some salads, and I was already making an attempt to eat some healthy foods, but I was still eating a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have been eating on a consistent basis. So, um, at the end of the day, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. And I'm really, really getting used to eating like this every day, you know? So I just challenge you guys if, to make the change. If, you're getting older, you got a little more extra few pounds on you, go ahead and make that change. It's going to be worth it in the end, you know? Okay, well, I got some more interesting video topics coming up. This is Sweet Jim.